Hey guys! So today I will be sharing some beginner tips and tricks for total Roblox drama. First of all, if you're buying a character, try to avoid buying Eva, Betsy, or Blair, because they tend to get voted out the most. Only get Blair if you're going to use Gown Blair. It's a cool skin IMO. I don't recommend buying Game Pass characters because they always get targeted in voting by new players, even if they're not a threat. And at the end, it's your choice whether you choose to use them or not. Second, always make sure that you go in the practice server if you want to enhance your skills in-game. You can go in the practice server by joining Total Roblox Drama and clicking the Join Practice Server button behind you. Practicing can come in handy when you are up against someone good in Final Challenge or when you are up against teamers. Some people might ask how to know if someone is teaming. Well, there are some ways to know. The first way is if Kyle exposes the votes and two people vote the same person. This does not always mean they are teaming. It means there is a chance they are in that you have to keep an eye out for them. And remember that teamers don't always have to be in pairs of two. There could be teams of 3, 4, 5 people, and so on. Another way to find teamers is by checking people's friends lists, but I don't recommend doing that because it takes some time. But if you want to do that and you want to find someone's user, just type her W, their name, then add a space and W, then something random. Next, if you want to team yourself, make sure you delete the person you're teaming with off of your friends list to avoid getting caught. And always make sure you talk in private chat to not make it obvious. Next thing is it's important to know that if you're in pre-merge, you have to vote out the last person that made it, the person that made your team lose. And in merge, it's the opposite, which means you have to vote out the best person to have a better chance at winning the final challenge. Next, make sure you aren't being too rude or too kind because people will think you are being fake, so if it's jury, they won't vote you. Also, don't be too dry and try to talk every once in a while because you can easily get voted off or lose jury vote if you don't talk much. Next thing, if you notice there is an exploiter in your server, try your best to get everyone to vote them out before merge, even if it means making your team lose on purpose, because if it merges and the exploiter is still in the game, it means they basically already won, and your only chance at beating them is jury vote. Also keep in mind that you might have to vote them out twice before merge because they might have teleported to the statue. Another thing is if you win a merge challenge and someone asks to do a no vote, you can vote someone and blame it on the first person to get the marshmallow because people usually blame that person. But this can be quite risky because if Kyle exposes the votes, you might be the next one out unless you plan on winning all the merges. But if Kyle has already exposed the votes before, then this method is completely safe to use. Side note, if you don't vote, you actually receive a self-vote. Next thing, if you find a safety statue but you don't have a bag, I do not recommend spending 300 coins on it, especially because you only get like 100 coins for winning an entire game. Instead, what you should do is ask who has a bag, and whoever does have it, you can lead them to it and ask them for an alliance because there is a chance that they use the statue on you. Also try to look up TRD Obby shortcuts because it can help a lot. During important tea breakers, they can make a big difference. And if you're teaming with someone and you have the statue, then your friend gets voted out pre-merge, it's not a good idea to use it on them early on because it can be a dead giveaway that you guys are teaming. It's better for your friend to just do comebacks and save the statue for merge. Also, if you just joined a server and the characters haven't been assigned yet, look out for what people are saying in the chat so you can spot some teamers. Mainly look out for people saying they are going to be a certain character, like I'm going to be Libby or something along the lines of I'm going to be the same character as last time. And make sure you don't do this yourself so you don't get exposed. Instead, you should agree on who to be outside of the game, or agree on a way to identify each other in the game. For example, agree on a word or phrase one of you will say at the start of the game, like I'm not good at this, or I see so many bags. But make sure the word or phrase has something to do with the Game because saying something like apple pie would make it obvious that you are trying to find your teammate using keywords. Or if you don't want to use keywords at all, you should try to agree on some sort of action to do when the game starts, like dancing in the cafeteria or jumping on a rock. And by the way, if you are using Game Pass characters, this whole thing is a lot easier because selecting a Game Pass character is free, so you don't have to pay 60 points every time you want to team, which is why Game Pass characters are usually teaming. Next, if you're really good at the game and people often see you as a threat, don't play good before merge. Act like you're bad at the game, so if you make it first, don't touch the yellow circle and wait for at least 2 people to make it so you can be third or fourth. Then, when it merges and you don't win a challenge, you won't get voted off immediately. Also, if there is a hated player in the server, try to not vote them off and bring them into the final two with you, so if it's jury, you have a high chance of winning even if you were dry or something, because people would want to vote literally anyone over the hated person. Also, try to look for bags as soon as you spawn in, because there are only 3 bags per server. So you want to get a bag before they are all taken, because it would be disappointing if you found the statue later on with no bag. Also, if you are on camp mode, you can easily find some bags near the docks or behind the houses or trees, but finding bags on movies or expedition can be a little more tricky, especially on expedition, but there are many guides out there to help. Anyways guys, that's it. Let me know if you guys want a part 2 by